originator of Ben Simmons, Shoot a Three, You Coward, and we are thrilled to have him on to discuss this. So walk us through this moment, Jack. What was your inspiration? Do you even remember tweeting it in the first place? Give us the rundown.
Yeah, I hadn't remembered it for a while, but a couple weeks ago, someone, asked me, and we did some sleuthing work. So I tweeted it actually during the Rising Stars game. I think it had, because Team World was up however many at the end of the game, and Ben Simmons was still in. And I was just sitting there. I was thinking to myself, it's an all-star game. Shaq shot threes in the all-star game. Hakeem Olajuwon shot threes in the all-star game. Ben Simmons, just shoot a three. And he wouldn't do it. And it got me so mad. I told all my friends, why won't this guy just shoot a three? And he wouldn't shoot a three. So I just had to tell the world, Ben Simmons, shoot a three, you coward.
Sam, and I mean, this is like a classic meme.
I feel like Jack doesn't really get the credit he is due for like the genesis of this, because like you have to understand kind of the zeitgeist of the Celtics at that point, like where it was kind of a fun joke to start like picking on the Sixers because of all the basically the process and everyone making fun of them and all the divisiveness over that. It's already such a touchy fan base to begin with.
And they had made fun of us for a while too. That's right. Even when they were bad, it wasn't like, we weren't out here catching strays.
Yeah.
It was still full bore for them going at us. So, I don't know if you want to talk about this either, but the InfoWars joke too, was kind of also.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
We're getting there.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, what's it feel like to have something like this blow up and it's basically entered public discourse at this time. Like it's expanded outside of Celtics Twitter. Philadelphia knows all about, Ben Simmons is a coward at this point. To see it expand, like what's going through your mind?
I'm almost tempted to like ask my dad sometimes, like, Dad, if I said the phrase, shoot a three coward, like I want to see if he, puts it together at all, if he's seen it anywhere, but I've yet to do it. But, it's I don't really want like credit for it. It's funny, but like it's just really funny. Like I saw someone today like tweet something totally innocuous, not about basketball, blank, something, you coward. And it's like, obviously there's the drill tweet that kind of gave me the inspiration, but it's just funny. I think actually, who was it? It was Miro. Jesus and Miro were on Bill Simmons' podcast, and they thought, because someone photoshopped "shoot a three, you coward" onto a Colangelo burner tweet. So Miro read it off. He was like, "Oh, I could have wrote this tweet, shoot a three, you coward." So it was, it's pretty cool.
I really think Jack deserves more credit as kind of a Sixers antagonist.
So what was it? 76ers Twitter is just InfoWars for basketball. That's it, right?
Right.
I mean, it was so good that even, Spike Eskin and Max Rappaport, like they eventually embraced it after people were continually posting Alex Jones reactions.
I think Sam said it at one point during maybe the first Sixers Celtic game of last season. It was, he said, I think he tweeted like the best thing ever is I'm seeing people I don't know post Alex Jones under Max. And I was just like seeing that. It's just so funny because like there are these accounts with like 40 followers that like, if they commit to my mentions, I'd be like, what are you doing? Posting Alex Jones, like in the mentions of these verified reporters or these verified writers or these verified, podcast hosts. And it's like, I think the funniest thing to come out of all this is Max's, teenager who lives 69 miles outside
Boston. That's
everyone.
Sixers fans are hyper aware of exactly who Jack is, but they also don't want to give him credit, so they find out like these weird aliases, and he always gets like a little bit younger and a little bit further away from Boston every time. So it'll be like, I got these college students from like Cambridge in my mentions, and then it'll be like, I've got this teenager in Braintree in my mentions, and then it'll be like, I've got this toddler in Cambodia in my mentions. It's eventually the end game for it.
These Cambodian bots are in my mentions. The globalists.
The globalists.
Every neighborhood has a heartbeat, a place that represents the cultural epicenter of the area that's core in Boston's North End. That place is Boston Barber and Tattoo Company. They have become home to A-list Boston celebrities like Gordon Hayward, Aaron Baines.
Wait, what?
Yeah, that's what they say.
That's the Hayward cut? They're the ones giving the Hayward cut now?
Oh, we're getting there. Next episode, baby.
I just want to say it looks a lot better recently. If I can interrupt the read,
Well, you're in Boston, Jack. You go tell the people how it's really like. I'm in Connecticut, so I can't be here. But anyway, if you want to go there, it's Boston Barber and Tattoo. Why don't you get a tattoo while you're there?
Yeah, I mean,
one of Terry, or just like your own tweets on there.
By the way, there's absolutely going to be an entire blog post on SLC Dunk of Jack saying that Boston Barber did the Gordon Hayward haircut more, and it's just going to be furious with him and like doxing him.
Bailey, I will give you my
shout out to SLC Dunk. Those guys are always.
Well, this ad read's going very well, but that's Boston Barber and Tattoo, a North End landmark that represents the cultural epicenter of the area at its core, located at 113 Salem Street. We have Jack Michael, the Twitter genius, here. Ben Simmons, take a three, you coward. Or was it shoot a three? One or the other.
Either or. He can do either.
Yeah.
or he won't.
So, yeah, I mean, that's that sort of thing. Like, could this get, thrown back in your face at some point? Does that keep you up at night?
Yes. Yeah, among other things, I don't sleep very much. No, but I think the funniest possible outcome of all this is he takes like a 3/4 court heave at some point in some game, maybe opening night. He just takes like a 3/4 court heave at the end of the quarter and just nails it. And then I get 50 people in my mentions or, however many telling me that he finally shot a three and like as if it means something. Like I think that's going to be, the funniest possible outcome.
It'd be so silly if he didn't at least start attempting threes at some point, just to gain more experience with it. I mean, the Celtics essentially humiliated him in the 76ers. I mean, let's be real here. Like he was like minus 20. In like every game, I think while he was out there, and TJ McConnell was completely in the opposite direction. And I think Brett Brown finally realized that at Game 4 or something that you should play McConnell more and Simmons less because frankly he was more effective out there. I mean the Celtics just didn't guard him outside of 15 feet, and it worked to their advantage. So I mean he's gotta draw the defense out a little bit more because they're just gonna not play him, and anything's better than him taking it to the rack. At this point. So, I do think that he'll wind up shooting threes at some point. And if he can become close to league average, I mean, we could be talking about a potential MVP candidate here at some point. He's just so dang big and athletic and can pass and dribble. And if he can shoot the ball, I mean, he's seriously scary. But, I think it's unlikely that he ever develops a reasonable shot.
And I honestly, that's the funniest part of all of this is that Ben Simmons, and nobody's arguing that Ben Simmons is like an incredible basketball player. You know what I'm saying? I think there's actually a lot of respect for like Ben Simmons in like Celtic circles, and it's like
he's
not
fixed.
even then. But that's what I'm saying. It's just so funny to see it like become this really mad thing just about like the one thing that he can't do. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it just kind of shows how just damaged and hurt Sixers fans are at this, like what a psychological like effect the process has had on them, that even something as simple as like a gentle ribbing about not being able to shoot threes. Like I'm trying to imagine like losing my mind about like Marcus Smart, like he sucks. Marcus Smart's a bad 3-point shooter, but I don't care. He's great at other things, and it's very funny to see that sort of play out. And I think that it kind of speaks to the Sixers as a fan base and just what they've been through.
And like also to Matt's point too, he said even if he becomes a league average, and like you said, no one's arguing he's going to be an incredible basketball player, but even if he becomes a league average shooter, we're not talking Marcus Smart where it's like he's a bad shooter and he's becoming towards a good shooter. We're talking about a non-shooter trying to become a league average shooter, and that's I think a lot different than
That's true. It would be unexpected for sure.
Yeah.
But even if he could get up to like 32% or something like, I mean, it'd be massive for him. You couldn't just let him.
And
maybe he could, but
there were the videos that came out last week of him shooting those shots, and it's just like I hesitate to call it ugly because I'm an amateur basketball player myself, and my jump shot is probably a lot uglier than his, and he would probably hit more than me in an open gym, but it's like. It just doesn't look good because almost all the way up you see him trying to shoot the ball, and if you couldn't see which hand the ball was in, you'd think he'd be shooting with his right hand. So,
oh man, I mean you already covered Ben Simmons, but the fact that like he just keeps he's gonna
go off
do the triple dump before he gets the triple basket. Like, that's
He
a
won't.
tough
He
look
won't
right
get
there, dude.
cheated on 3 times because he refuses to take 3. You coward. He won't take 3 of anything. 2 is it.
Everybody's talking about left or right hand. It should be both hands. Like, I mean, he shoots with both hands. He's just like a shot putter. Like,
Yeah.
he should just just get it down.
It's like a chest pass, like
Yeah.
in midair, and you can see it like kind of shift. It's like he's trying to like spin it in. It's pretty great.
Come on, if Aaron Baines can do it, so can anyone.
Aaron Baines, not a coward.
And Aaron Baines is not a coward. Aaron Baines will just end up in like 9 of like the NBA's top 10 dunks and just is not bothered at all. He's not there.
He's the best current like Australian player, and you can't prove me wrong. Like, I mean, he's the only guy that's hitting threes as far as I'm concerned.
He's the evolutionary Kendrick Perkins.
Yeah.
He is a
Best
unicorn. I mean,
player.
if KP is like not the best defender, he barely hits threes. I mean, all I know is Aaron Baines doesn't miss threes in the playoffs, and he's like the best defender statistically in the NBA. So I don't know, Jokic, who's that guy? Aaron Baines. Best player in Australia. You heard it here first.
I love how the Sixers were like totally flummoxed by both Al Horford and Aaron Baines. They just didn't know what to do. They had to put Joel Embiid on Marcus Morris.
I know we talked about this earlier, but I cannot stress enough how much that was just a nightmare series for the Sixers. And it literally couldn't have gone worse because they were just so mean to Al. Like, that was their big thing. Is like, Al Horford made an all-star game, like, you know, and then just Al sunned everybody. They just say you had Al do literally drive by guys 10 years younger than him to just just throw down a monstrous jam with like no one within 3 feet of him to seal the game, which is just like the most disrespectful thing that can ever happen to any team in a playoff game.
He left Embiid's ankles like on the ground right there. I was like,
yeah.
Who knew? Like, all you had to do, like Al Horford figure out is like, dude, if you do this move, Ben Simmons pees his pants. Gone.
He really does. He's a coward. Yep.
Do the Passion of the Christ move. That's the defense.
My favorite thing about that picture that's been on the shirts now is someone, like, real time, like as it was happening during that game, they photoshopped, they took Al, going like this, but they turned him over, they photoshopped him, and the distance between Al and Ben Simmons in that screenshot is 2 Al Horfords.